In the quiet rural heartland of the country lay a village known as Shivapur, surrounded by green fields, winding canals, and old banyan trees that had silently witnessed generations grow and fade. The village lived by simple rules: hard work, honor, and community. Among its respected residents were Madhav Prasad and his wife Kamla Devi, a couple who had spent their entire lives building a modest yet dignified existence. Madhav Prasad was a farmer by profession, but more than that, he was a man of principles. Tall, thin, with a calm face marked by years of labor under the sun, he believed deeply in human goodness. He often said that trust was the strongest bond among people. Kamla Devi, his wife, was practical and sharp-minded. Where Madhav trusted easily, Kamla questioned. Where he forgave, she remembered. Yet their differences balanced their household. They had 2 children. Their son, Harish, had inherited his father's humility and strength. From childhood, he worked in the fields, learned to manage crops, deal with traders, and support his parents. He spoke little but observed much. Their daughter Nandini was the opposite, bright, ambitious, and outspoken. She had been sent to the city for education, something rare in Shivapur. The village praised Madhav for valuing his daughter's education, but Kamla secretly dreamed of marrying Nandini into a wealthy household. One summer, Madhav received an invitation to attend the wedding of a distant relative's daughter in another town. Before leaving, he carefully instructed the servants and field workers. Kamla reminded him again and again not to trust everyone blindly. Madhav smiled, reassuring her that faith in people kept the world moving. A few days later, Madhav returned. The wedding had been grand, but his heart felt uneasy. Kamla greeted him, and Harish welcomed him warmly, but something felt off. When Madhav finally asked Kamla what was troubling her, she hesitated before revealing the truth. His childhood friend Raghunath had passed away suddenly. The news shook Madhav deeply. Raghunath had been more than a friend, he was family. Years ago, when Madhav had lost his crops and fallen into debt, Raghunath had helped him without expecting anything in return. Raghunath's only child, Savitri, was now alone in the world. Without delay, Madhav decided to visit Raghunath's house. Harish insisted on accompanying him. When they arrived, they found Savitri sitting silently in a dim corner of the house. The walls echoed with emptiness. Her eyes carried a grief far heavier than her age. Madhav spoke to her gently, calling her his daughter. Savitri broke down, confessing her fear of the future. She had no close relatives willing to take responsibility for her. Seeing her condition, Madhav made a decision that would change many lives. He brought Savitri back to Shivapur. At first, Kamla Devi accepted Savitri out of respect for her husband. Savitri was quiet, hard-working, and respectful. She woke up before sunrise, cleaned the house, cooked meals, and helped wherever she could. The villagers noticed her simplicity and kindness. But as weeks passed, Kamla Devi's thoughts turned restless. People whispered. Questions arose. How long would an unmarried girl stay in their house? Kamla worried about society, reputation, and her son's future. One evening, she suggested sending Savitri to distant relatives. Madhav surprised her by saying he wanted Savitri to become their daughter-in-law. Kamla reacted strongly. Savitri was poor, orphaned, and brought no dowry. Madhav reminded her of Raghunath's generosity and said that values mattered more than wealth. The disagreement grew intense. Kamla accused Madhav of ignoring practical realities. Madhav accused Kamla of forgetting humanity. Finally, Madhav decided to ask Harish. Harish listened carefully. He said he respected Savitri and admired her nature, but he wanted her consent above all. When Harish spoke to Savitri, he made it clear that there was no pressure. Savitri, overwhelmed with gratitude and respect, accepted the proposal. Despite Kamla Devi's objections, the marriage took place simply. Savitri entered the house as Harish's wife, determined to prove her worth. Savitri worked tirelessly. She helped Kamla Devi, assisted Harish in the fields, and never complained. Madhav felt proud, but Kamla remained emotionally distant. One day, Savitri wore a necklace, her mother's last gift. Nandini, visiting from the city, admired it deeply. Kamla demanded Savitri give it to Nandini. Savitri gently refused, explaining its emotional value. Kamla felt insulted. A heated argument followed. To keep peace, Savitri surrendered the necklace, though it broke her heart. Harish realized Savitri's sacrifice and respected her even more. Time passed. Nandini's marriage was arranged with Ramesh, a wealthy, educated man from the city. The wedding was lavish. Kamla felt proud, believing her daughter had secured a superior life. But after marriage, Nandini struggled. Accustomed to comfort, she resisted household responsibilities. One day, when the maid was absent, her in-laws asked her to help. Nandini refused, calling it beneath her status. Tension grew. A misunderstanding over saris led to a heated argument between Nandini and Ramesh. In anger, Ramesh raised his hand. Shocked, Nandini left for her parental home. Back in Shivapur, Kamla Devi faced reality. Her educated daughter was unhappy, while her uneducated daughter-in-law held the household together with patience. Savitri continued to care for everyone, even comforting Kamla when she cried over Nandini's situation. Slowly, Kamla began to see Savitri's true worth. Life taught them each lessons about pride, gratitude, sacrifice, and love. The quiet strength of Savitri transformed hearts, proving that true wealth lies not in money or status, but in character.